Hey guys, Rich Ferguson here today. I'm so excited because I'm going to be teaching you 10 tricks and pranks you can do while playing pool, and make sure you're a subscriber and you have your notifications turned on so you can be eligible for the giveaway. I'm going to be giving away a trick ball that wobbles around the table when people try to break. It is so funny. Check it out. All right guys, for this trick or bar bet, what you're gonna do is put two balls on one of the short rails on the end of the table, kiss them together against the rail. So you're gonna tap in the two balls so they stay in place, and very delicately place the other ball on top, literally on the bumper. That's the setup, and here's the challenge. So the bet is simple. What you're gonna do is have one of your friends hit the cue ball, and the object is this: to get this cue ball to strike that top ball, but you're not allowed to touch the two balls on the bottom. That's the bet. Now they can do a jump shot, they can do whatever you want, but the other rule, the stipulation is this cannot leave the table. So if you do a jump shot and this flies off the table, it doesn't count. You're gonna understand how this plays out just by watching me. Here's the bet. So you bet somebody a drink or 20 bucks, they fail, they fail, they fail, and this is what you do. You just strike the cue ball directly at that top ball, and then when the ball's traveling down, just hit the table, boom, and you got success. All right guys, for this next one, it's kind of a bar bet. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna set up the table like this: a ball at the center pocket, a ball in the middle on top of a $20 bill, and then your cue ball. And the bet is gonna be this: you're gonna word it very specifically. You're gonna tell the person you gotta take the cue ball and knock in that ball on the side pocket, but you cannot hit this ball. You must come in contact with the 20, and if they do that, they get to keep the 20. But the rules are simple. You can't jump, you can't curve and spin this ball, and you can't hit off any rails. So it needs to be somewhat of a straight shot unless they can figure out another solution. So they're gonna try all kinds of different things. They're gonna try to just like barely touch the paper and kiss past this, just barely, but they're not gonna make it because the angle, it's just not gonna let you do it. So what's the solution, guys? Think about it for a second. How can you solve this puzzle, win that $20 bill, and actually do what I said, which is you have to hit this ball, one hit. You can't jump, can't curve, you can't rebound off the rails. You have to make contact with the 20, but you can't hit this ball, and you must make in that ball. The solution is very simple. Here's what you do. You make a nice little tube, put the bill on the table right in the middle, put this other ball right on top, balance it on there. That's it. So now you can do what seems to be the impossible. You're gonna hit this bill because you're gonna shoot straight through it. This top ball is gonna fall, you didn't touch it, and you're gonna make that ball on the side pocket. All right guys, this next one is great when you're playing with friends and during the game, you're cheating, and I'm gonna show you what you do. So what you do is you're shooting some pool, you're hanging out with your friends, and they're going over there to get a drink. You casually just walk by and grab a ball out of the pocket. So say they're solids, grab it, put it in your hand like this so it's not so obvious, and just walk around the table and you're looking at your next shot, and you casually just kind of go, okay, right here, and you just drop it on the table. And so the prank is very simple, but I've done this to so many friends. Don't underestimate the funniness of this. Now, of course, if you're playing someone that's a pool shark, they're calculating their next shots. They know how many balls are on the table. You're not gonna get away with it probably too easily. However, I have done this to a guy who was phenomenal at pool, and we went on forever and he never caught it. So trust me on this. You just casually walk by, and let's just say there's a few of these in the pockets here. You walk by and just snag one when they're getting a drink or something, and just go around the table, and as you're looking at your shots, just drop it. Don't make a movement about it, and continue on with your business. Line up your shot, make your shot, and then as you go around, just little by little, every shot or two, throw another of their balls on the table. And this is hilarious once they figure it out. So while they're walking around the table, you can drop on the ball. While they're getting a drink, you could drop on the ball. But another cool time is if you snag a ball and you have it in your hand right here, it's just held by your thumb. When you go to do your next shot, just keep your cool. Keep this away from them so they can't see it. And as you line up your next shot, guess what's in your hand right here? A ball, right? So you make a shot, wait for them to look, boom, leave the ball, continue. It's just so cool, you guys. You know, sometimes when you're playing pool or basketball or whatever it is, sometimes just looking like you know what you're doing is cool, especially like in poker chip tricks, right? So here's what I see people do. They get the chalk and they rub it on here and they rub it on here, and sometimes they turn it and do all this garbage. It takes forever and it doesn't look like they know what they're doing. So here's a way to do it. Check this out. See that? Watch this thing. Get in really close. Look at this. That thing is chalked up, my friends. Look at that. This isn't so much a trick or prank. I'm just throwing these little extras in as we go through this video. There's going to be a ton of these, and this is all you're doing. You're just rubbing it with your foot back and forth as you lock the tip of the cue into the chalk, and you rub it back and forth, and it is just completely loaded with chalk, and it's just a more stylish way to put the chalk on there. All right, guys, this is a great prank to pull on your friends when you're racking up the balls. You're gonna set up the balls in a very sneaky, specific way, and when your friends try to break the balls, they're gonna scratch. Let me show you what it looks like. So I have this all set up. What I've done is I've manipulated one of the balls, and this is what's gonna happen. They're gonna break, and then it goes right into that corner pocket, and they have scratched. And guess what? You just won. So you've racked the balls tight, and what you're gonna do is pull away the front ball about 3/4 of an inch away, about like that. So there's a nice like pinky's distance, like 3/4 of an inch, half inch, 3/4 of an inch gap. So when they strike, it's gonna ricochet off and go into the corner pocket. All right, guys, one thing I do want to point out is if you're on a really bad table with balls that are really chipped up like this may not all work exactly according to plan, but trust me, on a really good quality table, these things are just scientifically proven. They're such great things. Now, of course, the bar bets, they work all the time because it's a play on words, but these physical tricks, they don't take a ton of skill. You guys just try them. These are so basic and self-working. You just have to actually just go through the motions and the mechanics just work out. Just give it a try. And guys, smash that like button like mad. Let's do the next trick. All right, guys, for this next prank, this is one of my absolute favorite things, and I'm going to be giving one of these away at the end of the video, so make sure you watch to the end. So this is something you want to do during the game, not so much on the break, which is I've seen people do that. They get these trick balls, these things are weighted funny, and they wobble, so you can't ever make a straight shot. You don't want to do this at the beginning of the game, because if you're doing it at the very beginning and you go to break, it still kind of works because of the amount of power you're putting into it. So what you want to do is do this during the game, so when someone's trying to make long, delicate shots, it won't work because this ball is going to wobble as it goes. Watch. It just moved, and it's still moving. Look at that. That's crazy. So internally, there's a lot of weight at the bottom of this ball, so when it goes, it's eventually just going to wobble, turn, curl up, and it's just subtle enough that you almost can't tell, so it'll make the other person go a little bit crazy if they're good at pool. Watch, it's going to curl back. Look at that. It goes back to the rail. That's impossible. People are going to think the table's messed up. They will never believe it's the ball. So along the same lines as the cue ball that wobbles, there's also other balls like the 8-ball. This is very popular as well. This one's mine. I'm not giving it away. I'm giving away the cue ball. But what you do during the game is just bring this out of your pocket, and when the person is over there looking away or getting a drink, just reach onto the table and swap out the 8-ball for another 8-ball. Now this is going to wobble a little bit because, like I said, this is one of those wobbling balls. So this is really cool when they try to make the final shot for the win and they can't do it. So when someone tries to make a delicate shot with the 8-ball, it's not, look at that, it stopped and then rolled back. That is crazy, right? What a pain in the butt. All right, guys, this next one is a viciously mean prank. There's a very good chance you're gonna hurt your friend. You're probably gonna pop them in the lip or in the nose. So make sure you watch the whole tutorial here, and I'm gonna explain some caveats to this and how to do it right, how to do it wrong. But what you're gonna do is go up to somebody, a friend, and you're gonna put your hands inside of here, and you're gonna turn it like this. And you're gonna say that it's easy to have this triangle go this direction. So put your hands down and have that go up and away from you. Very easy. Anyone could do this. But then you explain that no one is able to have it go backwards, and you struggle to go backwards, and you tell them you can't because your hands get caught. You just can't go backwards. And then they try it, and of course it can go backwards, but what happens is as soon as it goes around at the apex right here, this comes over and smacks them right in the nose so hard it's probably going to cut them, so be aware of that, or it might pop them in the lip. So here's a couple tips. Some of these are really solid, some of them are really cheap and lightweight. The ones that are best is at a pool house where it's the cheap curved plastic and it's curved. So what you do is think about when this comes around like this and it hits them in the face, boom, right here. You want this to be that curved corner, so it's still going to smart, but it's not going to cut them. Does that make sense? But just try it on your own and be really careful. You can easily bring your hands through and have it come toward you. This is another method. Just make sure when it comes over, you bring your hands out and say, I can do this because I have special dexterity. I bet you can't do it. You hand it to them, and it's the same gag. They're going to try, bam, and it's just going to smack them right across the bridge of their nose. This thing is a 10 out of 10 on mean and dangerous, so be careful. All right, guys, I found somebody who is willing to do it. It's my cameraman. All right, Noah, Let's show these people how this thing works. Okay, go the regular. Oh, oh, you know that's smart. Now imagine if you weren't expecting it, right? If you weren't expecting it, oh my God, you would go so full speed. All right, guys, this is an improvement and a much more advanced version of the one I taught you earlier where you have to shoot through the $20 bill. So you probably have a heads up on how this might be done, but it's a lot more clever than you think. The bet is gonna be this. You're gonna set up the bills and the balls like this. One ball on the side pocket, a 2 or 3 ball, and a 2 or 3 ball right here on top of a bill. And you have to tell the person that the balls must remain on top of the bills, but you must accomplish this. In one shot, you have to knock in the 1 ball, the 2 ball, and the 3 ball in the side pocket with 1 shot. That's it. So how can you do all of that while also keeping the balls on top of the bill? The other thing I'll note is I've positioned it where the 2 balls here, the 3 balls here, so even if they tried to do a push and really tried to push through this shot and tried to get all of them to roll in, it won't work because you have the 3 ball here and they have to go in order. Remember, 1, 2, 3. So ultimately, this could be doable, but that's not the setup. The setup is reversed, so the 3 is first. So how, guys, how can you do this? All right, guys, you're dealing with 4 balls this time, so make sure they're lined up to start with. But what you're gonna do is, just like before, you're gonna roll up your bills. There's 1. And then this one, guess what, guys? This is really difficult to do. You're gonna roll it the other direction, and you'll see why. This is so cool when you actually execute the shot. It's just insane. This is the hardest part, is just getting this to stay. So when you do the long tube, make sure it's almost touching the other ball so these balls are overlapped. So when this top ball drops, it actually kisses here and gets repelled this way and causes that one to go forward. That's the key secret to this setup. You're gonna do the same thing as you did before on the other bet. You're gonna shoot straight through the bills, and then something magical is gonna happen. This ball's gonna come this way, that ball's gonna go that way, the 1's gonna go first, then the 2, then the 3, the way it's timed, and everything is accomplished just the way you said. The 1 and then the 2 and the 3 go into the side pocket. 1, 2, and 3, baby. One, 2. All right, guys, this next one is a bar bet or a challenge. You can bet someone 20 bucks, a drink, a kiss, whatever you want. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna place the triangle on the table on the outside of the 8 ball, and then once it's set up, you cannot touch the triangle, and you have your cue ball on the outside, and you must make that 8 ball into the side pocket. That's the setup, and then you see if your friends can do it. Nope, that didn't work. Nope, that didn't work. All right, guys, here's the solution. I said ahead of time they're allowed to put this on the table, put the 8 ball inside, and then they're not allowed to touch the triangle. That implied to begin with, when I had it set up like this, that you're not allowed to touch the triangle at all. But I said you're allowed to take the triangle, put it on the table, put the 8 ball inside, and then put the cue ball on the table, and then you make your shot. Well, all I did is I rotated the triangle, and then watch this. At this point, it's pretty much self-working. All right, guys, this next one's another bar bet or a challenge, if you will. You're gonna take a glass, put it on the table, take a quarter, a $50, a poker chip, whatever you want, any ball in the cue ball, and you're gonna set up the criteria as this. You're gonna challenge or bet your friend that I bet you can't make this jump into this glass right here, just like that. You can't touch the glass of the quarter. You can set it up any way you want. It has to be on the table, and then that's it. And then you're able to hit this ball into the coin, make the coin jump into this glass. That's it. So it's a pretty straight setup. So how could you do that? Let's see, if I put the quarter behind it and hit it, let's see what happens. My guess is, I'm gonna move the glass because my guess is nothing's gonna happen. Let's say your friends try this and they try to hit straight on. Watch what'll happen. It's just gonna probably make that quarter slide. See, it doesn't do anything. So that made it jump a little bit, but would it be enough to make it jump up and into a glass? And if it could, how do you think it's done? And this is it. All you got to do is hit that 8 ball straight on. All right, guys, now traditionally this is done with just 1 ball. You strike from the end of the table, you hit the quarter, and it jumps in with just 1 ball. But what I like is this addition of another ball when you're first setting up the criteria, because then it's more confusion. It's another distraction. So the person's thinking this other ball must be positioned next to the quarter just right, which causes it to jump or something. So I love it with 2 balls. If you just use 1 ball, which is the easy and very simple way of doing it, all you got to do is, once they've tried and failed on the table by trying to get this to jump somewhere, and you have it on here on the table to begin with, and you're explaining, here, you try to get the quarter to jump into this cup with this ball, they're going to try to shoot in so many ways. They might even break this glass, so be prepared for that. So then when you take it and put it back here, make sure it's like an 1/8 of an inch, a 1/4 inch off the rail right here. All you have to do is a straight shot, and it's automatic. All right, guys, once you have your quarter set up, all you have to do is aim right at it, give it a nice medium shot, boom, goes right in. All right, guys, for this bet, what you're gonna do is challenge your friend, 20 bucks, a beer, whatever it might be, who can roll their ball the farthest. But the way you're gonna do it is put your ball on the rail, and you're gonna push down and cause the ball to squeeze out from under your finger like that. That's all you're allowed to do. So let me do their ball with my left hand and my ball with my right hand, and we'll see which goes further. And all you're gonna do is squeeze like this, and look at that, my ball goes further, and it will go further every single time. Let me show you the secret. Use one finger and press down. Let's see how far you can go. What? Why does your ball just stop? Why? Lick your finger. That's it. Or dip it in your water, or maybe their drink. And what you're going to do is they're going to push down right here, push down really hard, and push. The ball spins, either goes forward or backwards, or a combination of both. But when you do your ball, since your finger is wet and you push down, it causes it to roll, and it actually rolls across the table versus spinning backwards. How simple of a bet is that? All right, guys, thank you so much for checking out the video. It's time for an awesome giveaway. I'm gonna give away this really high quality wobble ball. So just comment down below and just tell me how much you love the video, and make sure you share it. Click all the social media links and get this thing out there. Like my video like mad. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much for the love and support. And I'll catch you guys next week with a whole new prank and tutorial. Peace out.
Subscribe to Rich Ferguson, or else.